Chris, should be a lot of offense tonight as Vinny Testaverde leads the NFL's #1 passing attack against the quarterback formerly known as Slash, the electric Kordell Stewart. Everybody, I'm Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. Welcome to the NFL on ESPN. Pittsburgh's Three Rivers Stadium sold out as usual tonight as the hometown Steelers look to sweep the season series from Baltimore. At 4-5, the Ravens are calling tonight's game a must-win to stay in the playoff race. Vinny Testaverde has supplied them with the big play all season. Tonight, they want him to stay away from the big mistake. They'll also need Bam Morris to be the ground force he's been the last 2 weeks, pounding out over 300 yards. And Joe, the Ravens blew a 21-point lead in the first game against Pittsburgh. They look at tonight's game as unfinished business.
You know, Michael, in that game, their defense completely shut down the Steeler offense in the first half. They forced 3 Kordell Stewart interceptions, but as he's done all season long, Kordell exploded in the second half with 3 touchdown passes and a 74-yard touchdown run. But now he faces a Baltimore defense that's healthier and better than the one he faced a month ago. The key for tonight, in Pittsburgh's point, they got to keep the bus, Jerome Bettis, up and running for 4 quarters. And they have to convert third downs, something they failed to do last Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, Joe, and Bill Cowher's club needs a win tonight to remain in a first-place tie with the Jaguars in the AFC Central. As always, Ron Jaworski will be along to examine the players of impact in his spotlight segments. Norm Johnson to kick it away for the Steelers as the Ravens won the toss and elected to receive. Jay Graham and James Rowe are deep to receive with Jermaine Lewis bothered by an ankle injury. Rowe from the 4 to near the 24-yard line. Baltimore's offense led by Vinny Testaverde. He ended the weekend #1 in the NFL with 2,417 passing yards on a pace for over 4,000. Eric Green was a Pro Bowler with the Steelers, and he's having a Pro Bowl year for the Ravens with more catches than any other NFL tight end. Up front, Jonathan Ogden, a consensus all-rookie as a guard last year, has all-pro potential at tackle. Testaverde to change the play at the line. And movement up front. Credit the Steeler crowd with the noise.
That was Jeff Blackshear, the right guard, who just got a little antsy.
Part of the snap, false start, 69 offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
The Ravens starting this game without Jermaine Lewis and Michael Jackson in the starting lineup. Both have been injured. So the only veteran receiver out there is Derek Alexander. Bam Morris, another former Steeler, can't turn the corner. Driven out of bounds by Kevin Henry. For the Steeler defense, the key to the NFL's #2 run stoppers, nose tackle Joel Steed, virtually immovable in the middle. At 275, Levon Kirkland is a crushing tackler at inside linebacker. He made the Pro Bowl a year ago. And Carnell Lake, a Pro Bowl strong safety, has been playing corner. Tonight he goes back to safety to cover the slot receiver in that 3-wide receiver set. Kirkland at 275, still very mobile. Testaverde dumps it over the middle. He's got his tight end, Eric Green, but a short gain. Darren Perry up from his safety spot.
That's really smart, Mike. What Vinny doesn't want to do is force the ball down the field. Eric Green caught 9 balls last week. Here he comes off the line. Clean release. He's about 285, works the middle. Good hands for a big guy. There you see it from the end zone. Vinny puts it out where Eric can make the catch and protect himself.
3rd and 14 for the Ravens. Delayed blitz. Testaverde with time. That's tipped up in the air and intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Stephen Conley. There is a marker down, and so is Vinny. Myron Bell looked like he tipped the pass.
Mike, that's exactly what happened. Myron Bell went up with Eric Green to go after the ball.
After the interception, offsetting personal foul, 74 Pittsburgh, 63 Baltimore. Those penalties offset. First down Pittsburgh.
So the Steelers maintain possession off of the turnover.
Testaverde basically gets good pass protections. He's sitting in the pocket comfortable. He tries to make the play, throws it a little bit behind. As Green tries to reach up, it hits Bell, winds up coming right back for the interception.
So a big break for the Steelers. They take over at the Ravens 25.
Very similar to what happened the last time these two teams played, except it went against Pittsburgh that last time.
Out of the eye. Movement up front, no play.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, 90 defense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Rob Burnett, the veteran out of Syracuse, who got a quick start, so it's 1st and 5. Ravens defense much better than it was earlier in the season when they had so many injury problems. Stewart to throw. Intended for Thigpen, but great coverage by Eugene Daniel. For the Steelers offense, Slash is gone, but Kordell Stewart, the quarterback, is alive and well. He's thrown for 12 touchdowns, rushed for 7 more. Yancey Thigpen has been his favorite receiver, 3rd in the AFC with almost 700 yards receiving, and a great run-blocking line centered by perennial All-Pro Dermontti Dawson, maybe the best in the business.
I got to believe here, Mike, you want to give it to the bus to get him started in this game.
2nd and 5. And the bus gets his first carry for about 3. Here's the Ravens defense up front. Michael McCrary leads the line in tackles. He's 3rd on the team and also has 4 sacks. The NFL's youngest group of linebackers, led by 2nd-year man Ray Lewis, 122 tackles in 9 games. And the Ravens brought in veteran Eugene Daniel to stabilize the secondary. He's done it and has 3 interceptions. 3rd and 2. Ray Lewis with 122 tackles. It's remarkable. Stewart into the flat. There is a flag down. This may be a late hit. Mitch Lyons, the tight end, made the catch.
That's what they're talking about, Mike. You know, this is where Pittsburgh really struggled last week against Kansas City, was the third down in short areas. They just couldn't convert 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s.
And Lyons is still down on the far sideline.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, half the distance to the goal. Number 58 of the defense. First down.
Boulware, the rookie, who had a late hit a week ago.
Yeah, this is something that a young player has to learn, when to pull up. You just can't lower your helmet and put him in the back. It looks like a little love tap, but it's not. Watch him come from the right of the screen. He can't do that. I mean, he's pulling up. I don't necessarily think that was roughing, but
it wasn't a love tap either. Nothing. First quarter.
To Travelers. By Travelers Insurance. What we all want, Travelers Insurance provides. Something to hold on to. And by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time.
Three Rivers Stadium outside the confines of the confluence of the Three Rivers.
The confluence, eh?
That's right. Lyons limping on that right leg, comes to the sideline. One of the reasons that was such a big play is the pass to Lyons was short of a first down, would have brought up 4th down. Instead, they get the automatic first down. Now it's 1st and goal.
Right, and Boulware's got to understand, if you're 2 steps away, you can't touch the quarterback.
Pettis. And he is swarmed back at the 12. The first guy there was Sharper along with Michael McCrary.
Mike, I just don't believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be able to pound Jerome Bettis against this Raven defense. You mentioned it earlier. The last couple weeks, they've gotten a lot of people back healthy. McCrary is one of them. They're playing a lot better. They admit that. I think that the Ravens have to be real conscious of where Kordell Stewart is when he goes back to pass, because he's the one who'll probably run it in.
The Steelers one of the best, the Ravens the worst in this situation. Stewart throws down to the 1-foot line, goes Courtney Hawkins. Eugene Daniel kept him out of the end zone.
That's a real nice job by Kordell Stewart. He focuses where he wants to throw the ball. Reads the safety real quick. You see his eyes. Now he comes over where he wants to throw the ball. Good delivery. Courtney puts it away. Now they're in bust territory.
3rd and goal. Jerome Bettis, touchdown.
The big key when you're down in goal line is who gets beneath who. If the offensive lineman can get under the defensive lineman like they do, they create a crease. And Jerome has great explosion as well as power towards the goal line. You see the offensive line get down low. Even Ray Lewis hitting the bus one-on-one's not going to stop him.
Norm Johnson for the point after. And the Steelers take advantage of the interception here in the first quarter. 7 points off of the turnover.
Ultimate automotive service team, led by 10 factory.
In any sport, mistakes will kill you. The Ravens have already made 2 big ones.
Well, when we sat down with Ted Marchibroda yesterday, he said in this game we have to eliminate the big plays against us. The interception went against them. Also, we have to win the giveaway takeaway ratio. Right now they're -1. Exactly what Ted talked about is happening against their team. They also committed the big personal foul. They stop them on 3rd down, do what they want to do, then all of a sudden you wind up giving them 4 more shots at the end zone. You can't do that. By the way, is that a raven-colored tie that you're wearing?
Yes, I believe it matches your Steeler tie.
I know. Coincidental.
And we did this by accident, believe it or not. That's how aware both of us are. They'll come back from the 1. Rowe got back to about the 25-yard line. There's a marker down on the return. Dante Jones made the tackle for the Steelers special teams. Now the Ravens, it looks like it's going to go against them because they are really griping about it. Benny Thompson, the special teams demon, who's been one of the NFL's best for years, pleading his case, but he's not going to win.
During the return, holding 55 of the receiving team. 10 yards, first down Baltimore.
Scott O'Brien, the special teams coach, he can't be real thrilled with the way the special teams have played for a while. Number 71, Orpheus Roy, the premier wedge buster. He comes in high, just takes Kitchen and destroys him and winds up right grabbing everybody. He took the wedge and everybody else with him. Wow.
Oh.
290 pounds coming right down your throat.
In full stride. Testaverde on first down, complete up to the 24. They'll gain about 9. Vinny has been suffering from the flu, and he was being fed intravenously as of yesterday. He looked pretty good at our meeting, but you know what the after effects do. You just get tired so quickly.
Exactly, Mike. You get weak because you haven't had any food. And the thing is, you really have to eat on game day because you play so late at night. If you avoid it, you run out of gas in the second half.
2nd and a yard. Bam Morris. Gilden had him around the ankles, but he will get the first down. Levon Kirkland also there on the stop.
The Ravens behind this offensive line will want to try and establish the run. They average more than anybody in football. Jonathan Ogden is 325 pounds, and I got to be honest with you, he doesn't look that big. 321-pound average. You see their rushing average for the year.
But the last 2 games, they have been very, very tough. Testaverde, after a long count, floats this one down the sideline. A lot of contact intended for Yarbrough. He was being ridden by the rookie Chad Scott.
Scott does a real good job with Yarbrough here in just doing casual hand fighting and gets his hands around and his head around just as the ball comes in. Watch the contact. Watch his long arm. See how he gets that left arm in? Just manages to get his arm in between Yarbrough's hands. He's got really, really long arms, too.
2nd and 10 for Ted Marchibroda and his Ravens. Morris behind that big offensive line, nothing doing, gains maybe a yard. Earl Holmes was over there to bring him down, the 2nd-year man out of Florida A&M. They put him in the spot vacated by Chad Brown. This is a defense that over the last 2 or 3 years, Joe, has just lost so many great players, and they keep plugging them right back in.
Jim Haslett comes in as a new defensive coordinator. He's got basically 6 new starters, and he's got to live up to a standard that the Steelers have set. I think he's done one heck of a job getting the pieces to work together.
3rd and 9. Ernest Biner is in for Baltimore. Testaverde with time, throws. He's got a first down up at the 40-yard line. Eric Green.
Michael, let me tell you something. In today's football, everybody talks about 3- and 5-step drops. Quarterbacks getting rid of the football real quick. What happens with this offensive line is Vinny Testaverde takes 7-step drops, and a guy like Jonathan Ogden comes around and blocks Joel Steed. Vinny's going back 10 yards. That's how good this offensive line is. It allows the Ravens to run a deeper type of passing game with their offense.
First down at the 40. This offense overall 4th in the NFL, the #1 passing attack. Here comes a blitz by Holmes. They pick him up, and the pass thrown incomplete. Intended for Rowe at the sideline.
The one guy that will be affected with Jermaine Lewis not playing much and Michael Jackson not playing much is Vinny Testaverde. Because during the course of practices, you really work with your starters, and you want to get real comfortable with them. And it shows on quick out routes, on quick post. You're a little bit late or a little bit behind.
Coming into the game, Rowe had not caught a pass this year. Yarbrough had only caught 10 out of the most prolific passing game in the league. Another blitz. They throw short and quickly. Intended for Alexander, but Carnell Lake was right there. what a versatile defensive back Kordell Lake is. I mean, if you make strong safety Pro Bowl in this league, you have to be a wicked hitter to be able to cover tight ends. And then they put him at a corner and he shuts down wide receivers. Now they got him over the slot.
Mike, I think it's not only a testament to his athletic ability, but also his intelligence, because when you've played as many years as he has, 9, you learn how to use every element, the sidelines, your underneath coverage. He just plays real smart.
Good protection for Testaverde. Throws, got Alexander at the 41 of Pittsburgh. It's another first down.
You know, talking to Derek Alexander yesterday, he basically said, hey, look, we feel like the vulnerable part of their defense is their secondary, and we feel like we can work on them. This time he gets an inside release against the zone of Lake. Vinny does a nice job of laying the ball out towards the sidelines, and Derek catches it.
Alexander with 4 straight 100-yard games, or 4 straight games with a touchdown. Vinny to throw on first down. And throws a strike to the sideline. What a perfect throw by Testaverde, and Ryan Yarbrough hanging by his toes.
They're going to call this good because he was knocked out of bounds and he would have come down in. But Vinny doesn't have time to look over the field unless he gets protection. And that's exactly what this offensive line did. Watch these 5 guys up front. They do not allow any penetration. Vinny is in a comfort zone where he can look around the field and make the throw. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. That's a good no call. That's a good job of the officials overruling one another. Ted can be upset, but he stepped out of bounds before the ball got there.
You're absolutely right, and you're right about the officials. One of them saw it and came up and made the call so they could overturn it. I wouldn't want to argue that point to Ted right now.
Well, the thing is, this official ought to just turn around and just not argue with him, because you're not going to win an argument with a coach.
So it's 2nd and 10. Steelers show blitz and come with it. Testaverde unloads. Scott was right there, but Rowe made the catch at the Steeler 35.
I am just so impressed with the ability of Vinny Testaverde to be able to command an offense. This offense is so perfect for him. 3 wides, 1 tight end, 1 back. You make a defense, if they're going to come after you, you know where your hots are right away. You don't have to worry about people trying to zone blitz you.
This will be the 11th play of this drive. It's taken over 4 minutes. 3rd and 4. Vinny again with plenty of time. Throws, it's intercepted. It's picked off by Chris Oldham. Oldham back to the 32. The 2nd interception by the Steelers here in the 1st period.
I'm Kenny, a friend of Dick's. Miller Lite has asked me to find 4 cheerleaders to send to the Super Bowl. Today you're going to meet the Caesar brothers from Hawaii, USA.
His most enduring corporate images, the Goodyear blimp floating overhead tonight, providing our aerial views. The Spirit of Akron traveled from its home base in Akron, Ohio. 7-0 Steelers, 6:37 to go first half. They have just gobbled up their 2nd turnover and start from their own 32. Stewart throws, big pin at the 49. Let's go back to that last interception.
Jim Haslett, the defensive coordinator, there he is with the headset just taking it off, has wanted to try and confuse Vinny Testaverde. He wants to give him a look. And what he's doing is that's Chris Oldham over Eric Green. So what he's doing, he's saying, okay, as the ball snapped, Vinny Testaverde says Eric Green is here, but then he lets him go and slides back into the area where the receiver's coming, and then just makes a great athletic interception. They gave Vinny 1 look and then played another coverage.
Stewart to throw again under pressure. What a catch. Thigpen just snatched that one out of the air and got another 10 yards. He has had an exceptional season.
You know, right now, in talking to him on Friday, Mike, Yancey said, Joe, I got to tell you something. I feel like I can get open on every play. And when you start making catches like that, it just builds your confidence, especially for a young quarterback. It just gives Kordell more and more of an opportunity to let the ball go and trust the receiver to make the play. First meeting against the Ravens, he had a career-high 162 yards. Broke that against Jacksonville with 196. Bettis, room to run. Dragged down by Lewis as he got to the 36. The defensive philosophy of the Ravens is that their inside linemen have to allow Ray Lewis to be able to roam and run. There you see Lester try and make a play on him, and then he gets a chance to move up and try and make the play. The big key is going to be getting a body on Ray Lewis if they want to be able to run the football. 2nd and 6. Stewart. Thigpen inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Jamie Sharper had to make the tackle. Mike, this is watching Kordell Stewart throw the football right now. It's a little unusual and out of his modo operandi.
You think it's the second half,
right? I think he's convinced himself that he's already played a half. He must have lathered up real good in warm-ups because he struggled so much in the first halves of games. Now he comes out looking very sharp, but his footwork is exceptionally good tonight.
He has been superb so far, and Thigpen has been very active. Bettis tries to cut it back, and there's nothing there. The hole closed by James Jones, who did a good job fighting off his block. I just don't believe that Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator, is going to be able to break Jerome Bettis loose for many big games. I'll tell you why. The linebackers of the Ravens can all run exceptionally well. So if the Steelers do block them, these kids are so young, they get off the ball and they'll run Jerome down no matter where he goes. Bettis came into the weekend 2nd in the NFL rushing with 1,023 yards. 2nd and 10. Draw play to Bettis. How does a guy that big make nice, nifty cuts like that?
Funny you should ask. I asked him that. I said, where did you get such quick feet? And he said back when he was in the 8th grade, he played flag football because he went to a private Catholic school, and he didn't have the opportunity he was a quarterback. And so he didn't play real football. He played flag football. And he said, I kept trying to make guys miss the flag. And as a quarterback, I got this niftiness. And that's how he explains his quick feet.
Fastest Steeler to 1,000 yards. 3rd and 7. 4 wide receivers. And Stewart throws right off of the chest of Courtney Hawkins. And here comes the field goal unit. You can't blame Kordell on that. He's been right on the money. Norm Johnson, who's only had 10 tries this year, has hit 8. We'll try this one from 42 yards, well within his range. And Johnson is true from 42 yards. There's a marker down. The 5-yard penalty, of course, would not make it a first down, and the indication is a hold against Pittsburgh.
Holding, 87 offense, 10 yards, repeat 4th down.
Mark Bruner, the tight end, in on the field goal team, and that really displeases Ron Zook. And now if they try it, it will be 52 yards. Bill Cowher says, hey, he can make it from 52.
Yeah, but the tendency when you go back this many yards, Mike, is to kick it lower, and you bring in the block element so much more.
Norm Johnson drills a 52-yarder, and the Steelers have taken a 10-0 lead.
Mortimer Crane what he was doing when he built until gumballs could catch. Crane might have avoided this disaster. Mechanical engineering technology. See, you can be better prepared. Don't wait. Call 419-75 for an appointment. Ask about. Come to NCTC. Look to the.
It's a cage. It's a cage, but you place human beings in it, and they have to be protected somehow. We have to sacrifice one of each model to prove that the other ones are just as good. One way to test any product is to tear it down.
Me personally, I'm glad we do it, because that's something that I can lay the old Mark I eyeball on, and I know that exactly what I have. I'm not trusting anything except myself to know it's correct.
People have touched the lives of more young people than Bob Guthrie, our Roby Foster Miller Eric Insurance difference maker. For 34 years, Bob coached the Woodland Bronco elementary footballers, including the 4 Roby boys. He's officiated the Mehawk relays for decades and the state track meet for almost as long. And he's beginning his 41st season of pulling the chains at Arlen Field during football games.
To this day, my wife always says, somebody calls, she says, hey, say no, Bob. No? And I always say yes.
Beautiful night here in Pittsburgh. We got a break with the weather. It's been raining the last 3 days, but perfect to play tonight. And a 10-0 Steeler lead, courtesy of 2 Baltimore turnovers. And Norm Johnson, who replaced Chris Jackie as the kicker for this club, and has really come through for them. Taken by Graham. Graham with a seam up to the 30-yard line. NFL Prime Monday tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern as Mark Malone, Joe Theismann, and Sterling Sharp preview the Monday night game between the 49ers and the Eagles. We'll have live reports from Veterans Stadium. Chris Mortensen with the latest NFL news, and Leslie Visser goes backstage with 49er Dana Stubblefield. Tomorrow night, Prime Monday. Baltimore down 10-0. Michael Jackson checks in for the first time. 41 catches, 565 yards, nursing a ruptured bicep that has taken away some of the strength in his arm. So Vinny has one of his weapons back. Bam Morris plows ahead for 3, maybe 4. Before that run, he had 3 carries for -2 yards. Cowher said he was very happy for Bam Morris. Of course, he was released by the Steelers with his substance abuse problems, but they were very happy to see him get his life turned around. Morris. Hard run for a first down up to the 43.
You know, like we talk about Jerome's feet, but Bam Morris sure has some really nifty feet as well. Along that story with Bam Morris' situation, Bill Cowher felt that where Bam Morris was in his life, he had to make a statement about the type of people he wanted in on his football team. And he let him go because he just felt like it wasn't the type of person that he wanted as an individual on his football team. And he's thrilled that it's worked out for him and hope that his life is pointed in the right direction. Of course, we'll know more after November 23rd.
That's when he has to face a court date on a possible probation violation. Testaverde to throw on first down. Down the middle, overthrown, intercepted. Kordell Lake at the 28-yard line. Greg Lloyd was putting the pressure on. It was intended for Alexander, who didn't make a move for the ball.
That's the thing. Derek Alexander is playing the slot tonight because Michael Jackson is hurt, and I got to believe that he is not comfortable playing the slot. because he makes no play on this ball. Here he is in the slot. He's running down the middle. Now he makes the move inside, and you see him peeking. He's peeking. He doesn't even try and adjust to the ball. Vinny's not sure where he's going. He makes the throw. He gets the throw off without any problem. Alexander bends it in so far, and Lake just comes up with just another big play.
Kordell Lake with his third pick of the year, the third interception tonight for Vinny, and Alexander on the bench wondering what went wrong. Here's Bettis. Jerome Bettis, a gain of 10. John Jackson with a big block for him.
John Jackson, number 65. All he has to do is turn. All he has to do is turn, and that's exactly what he did on McCrary. Just get it turned, and here comes the bus right up the avenue. Well, what do you hit when he's coming at you? The ground, probably. Ankles.
Stewart with excellent play action. Thigpen double covered contact. No flag. Rondell Jones and Antonio Langham were right there. The end of the first quarter. It's been all Pittsburgh Steelers. And he is, if not the best, certainly one of the best two centers in professional football. Blitz on Stewart. They pick it up. The pass too high. Let's go back to Jaws.
Mike, the numbers on DeMonte Dawson. Here's a guy that is pancaking people. I mean, we talk about the guys knocking people down. 3 pancakes, and he has blocked 2 men on 5 of the 14 plays. DeMonte Dawson, you could add him to the list, Mike, of some good football players like Ray Mansfield and Mike Webster.
When his high school football coach saw him in the hall, he thought he was an adult. He said, "Can I help you find your son?" And he says, "No, I'm a student." And the coach said, "Where have you been all my life?" George Jones, the rookie, is in on 3rd and 10. He's number 43. Comes the blitz. They don't get there. The throw underneath to Courtney Hawkins. And Hawkins wrapped up well short of the first down.
Well, the Ravens did an excellent job by bringing the safeties off the slot people in contain of Kordell and making him throw the football. By bringing the safeties, you cut down the amount of time that he can hold the ball, and you make him get rid of it quick.
Josh Miller comes on to kick. He drew the ire of Bill Cowher a week ago for a very poor punt against Kansas City. James Rowe waits back at the 10. High and short, and it will go out of bounds near the 30-yard line. And the crowd did not like what they saw out of that kick. Only 28 yards. Baltimore will have the ball when we come back.
Monday Night NFL is brought to you by Honda. Honda's commitment to the environment is another result of Honda thinking. By your local McDonald's. Did somebody say McDonald's? Yep, I did. And by Northwestern Mutual Life. Have you heard from the Quiet Company?
The Steelers with a 10-0 lead as we start the second quarter. And Eric Zier has come in to replace Vinny Testaverde. Ted Marchibroda said he would watch his quarterback carefully because he was suffering from the flu, and apparently he's decided that Zier has a better shot right now. Morris picks up maybe a yard. Vinny with 3 first-quarter interceptions. It was only 5 out of 12 for 52 yards.
And it's a reversal of the last time these two teams played about a month ago, Mike. Kordell Stewart started the game with 3 interceptions in the first quarter, managed to lead his team back. Vinny is just basically out of gas.
Zier has not thrown a pass this year. This will be his first attempt. And it's incomplete, intercepted. Picked off by Darren Perry. Dragged down at the 1. Great break for the Steelers as the ball bounced up in the air. And And Zaire's first pass of the season is intercepted. A 42-yard return for Darren Perry.
Well, they've had 2 picked off and 2 bounced in their faces. Teddy Marchibroda coming over saying, listen, don't worry about it. It just bounces up in the air. This is a naked boot. They come around the corner. The pressure is on. Eric Green goes down. Carnell Lake is there. And Darren Perry, who seems to make a living off the Ravens, the Browns, call him whatever you want. He's been making big plays against them for a long time. The ball just comes up in the air. And Perry runs it almost into the end zone.
Not quite as spectacular as what happened with Nebraska yesterday, but close enough. The Steelers with 4 interceptions. Kordell Stewart, touchdown. That is the 8th rushing touchdown for Kordell Stewart this year.
Yeah, and this is a move that he likes to use both in short yardage and down around the goal line. There are no leapers in the middle. They're too deep. So what he does, he has such great power in his legs, he just leaps in. Remember, the only thing that has to break the plane is the ball. And he can do it for a foot.
Norm Johnson has kicked 240 extra points in a row, the second longest streak in the history of the NFL. Make it 241. And the Steelers running away from the Ravens. It's 17-0.
The numbers.
Even though Barry Sanders and the Lions lost to Washington, he had 105 yards, which puts him over 1,000 yards for the 9th straight season. That's an NFL record. And it puts him only 1 behind Walter Payton for most 1,000-yard seasons ever. Michael?
Tell you what, Boomer, he is just a remarkable player.
I'll tell you something else, too. He has 8 consecutive road games where he's rushed for over 100 yards, which is another NFL record. We were fortunate enough to see him last week.
He may hold them all before he's done. Graham from the 8. Across the 30 to the 33. There's a marker down. I think the Ravens are probably just happy nothing was intercepted on the kickoff return.
Michael, they've completed 5 passes to themselves for 52 yards, 4 to the Steelers for 48 yards.
That's not good.
No.
During the return, holding 88 of the receiving team. 10 yards, first down, Baltimore.
The 8 top-ranked men's tennis players in the world battle for the ATP World Championship beginning Tuesday at 8 a.m. on ESPN2. You can watch Pete Sampras try to clinch the #1 ranking for a record-tying 5th straight year. The ATP World Championship live from Hamburg, Germany on ESPN2. Jermaine Lewis has come in as a wide receiver. So they have all of their starting wideouts in, but the quarterback, Vinny Testaverde, is missing. Eric Zaire in at quarterback. Morris struggles out to about the 18-yard line.
Michael, I got to believe that what Baltimore wants to do is they got to stay the course. You're only down 17. Now, it sounds like a lot, but if you can put a drive together, manage to get 7, and make this a 10-point game before the half, a lot of things can happen. I think it's important for Zaire just to be real smart with the football, especially down in this end. Now, on the other side of the ball, I wouldn't be surprised if Haslett, the Pittsburgh's defensive coordinator, really goes after Zaire in passing situations.
2nd and 5. Morris again, and the Steelers really flowed that time. Nolan Harrison, the first man there, but he had help.
Jim Haslett. Well, you know, in the beginning of the year, everybody said, geez, what's wrong with the Steeler defense? What's wrong with the defense? Heck, he lost 6 guys. He had to really live up to a tradition of the Dom Capers and, of course, Dick LeBeau, who was here before, and, of course, Tony Dungy before that. I think he's doing a heck of a job with this group of guys.
Ernest Biner in on 3rd and 5. Comes the blitz, a draw to Biner, and he'll lose yardage. The Steelers just swarming on him. Myron Bell up from the secondary.
Mike, that's real simple. The Steelers put more guys up front than the Ravens can block. Somebody's coming free. You look at Oldham in the middle. The center has to block him. He winds up spinning off. Nobody blocks the outside guys. You wind up with no gain.
Montgomery will kick from inside his 5 to Will Blackwell. Beautiful punt. Blackwell all the way back to his 29-yard line. Returned it to the 38. 9-yard return after a punt of 54. Brian Kinchin makes the tackle, but the Steelers have the ball in a 17-point lead.
Wow, Daffy Duck! You're the greatest.
Thanks. Take a check.
Sure, Daffy. Just need some ID.
Are you serious? How many big cartoon stars come into this store?
Checks are a pain, but your bank has a better way, the Visa Check Card. And if your ATM card has a Visa logo on it, you've got one. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted.
You're despicable.
Visa Check Card works just like a check, only better. What a maroon.
Years, adults and children have watched the Goodyear blimps hovering over spectacular events. Tonight, it's the Spirit of Akron carrying on that proud Goodyear tradition.
I would look for one and know that something special was going on.
Absolutely.
Then I could never get a ticket to get in and wish I was up in the blimp watching it.
Steelers start from their own 38. If you just joined us, they have picked off Baltimore quarterbacks 4 times in the first half. Bettis tries to get outside, cuts it back, and dives to the 40.
Mike, on our ESPN, one of our ESPN pre-plays tonight, we want to deal with how you contain Kordell Stewart. Now, they're going to show you the pass rush of the Ravens and what they'll want to try and do. The 2 interior guys will try and push the pocket straight ahead, keeping conscious of their lanes. The ends will try and create an outside cup type of a formation. As they come forward, they create somewhat of a cup to try and contain Kordell Stewart.
Stewart stumbled coming back from center and throws too high, intended for Thigpen. Eugene Daniel was right there with him. One of the problems, Joe, they've had good protection. I mean, they haven't let him outside, but he's thrown it well.
Here's what it looks like in real time. These 2 guys are going to come up here. These guys want to come around. They managed to get some pressure on him. Everybody comes in. You see the cup. They have him contained. Make him throw the football. That when he winds up throwing high and away. The Ravens defense is going to have to carry the load to slow this offense down and get some field position for their offense. Marvin Lewis, their defensive coordinator.
3rd and 8. 4 wide receiver sets. 3-man rush by the Ravens. Stewart with time, and it's dropped. Intended for Blackwell. Looked like it would have been a first down had he made the catch.
That's an area that Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator, says that Kordell has tried to stay away from, the middle of the football field. He's had some tipped balls both at the line of scrimmage. He's thrown some interceptions down the middle, and it's not one where he has a lot of confidence throwing the football.
Rowe drops back to his 15-yard line. Miller, who got off only a 28-yarder his first try. Much better kick this time, but returnable. And Rowe taken out of bounds near the 28. NFL Countdown every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Join the distinguished faculty of Bristol University for the best pregame show in the NFL. Then at 7 p.m., it's all the highlights on Prime Time. Then at 8, Jeff George and the Raiders take on the Chargers.
Whoa. The Raiders lose to the Saints today. Not a happy experience.
It's not been a good year.
No, it has not. With all that talent, they are the most baffling team in football and have been for a while.
Baltimore needs to get anything going on offense. Zaire to throw. And hit the official right in the side of the head, intended for Bam Morris.
That's it. You throw your hands in the air. You say to yourself, what else could happen? Maybe I'll hit an official. That's exactly what happens. He literally hits him in the head.
That's Bob Wagner, the umpire. The only thing worse is if he would have intercepted it.
At least he knocked it down. Look at this. He's running with them and winds up moving along. You know, they try very hard, the officials do, to avoid it. But they always seem to wind up in the wrong place at the wrong time when you're struggling to get something going.
That umpire has to be very agile in there. Here comes the blitz. Zaire throws high and wide, intended for Jermaine Lewis. Four interceptions, 5 flags for 39 yards, and they have rushed for less than 2 yards a carry. Misery indeed.
And you're only down by 17.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that you're thinking in your head. And for Ted Marchibroda, he's got to be thinking, we just need one play to get us going.
The last 5 Raven passes, 0 for 5 with 3 interceptions. Zaire with time down the middle off the hand of Alexander.
That's why you take the ability of a Carnell Lake and you put him on the slot receiver. It's like having 3 corners. Zaire makes a real good throw to Alexander. It's got to be a little bit high or Lake winds up making the play. That's good defense right there.
Blackwell waits at his own 30. Movement by the Ravens. And that was caused by Myron Bell with a fake start.
Tony Vincent, number 44, just rocks back a little bit.
Prior to the snap, full start. 44 offense, 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
Scott O'Brien's nightmare on special teams continues to move along.
Well, you start to wonder what else could go wrong for Baltimore. Nearly everything else has so far.
Once you hit the official in the head, you got to figure that's the bottom of the barrel.
Blackwell telling people to get away from it. And it's down to the 38-yard line. Pittsburgh cruising with a 17-0 lead. 9:40 to go, first half from Pittsburgh. Shutout at the Ravens at 17-0. 9:40 to go, first half of play from Pittsburgh. Kordell Stewart, it has been a strange year for him. His first 10 attempts in a ball game, he's completed 50%, thrown 7 interceptions to only 3 touchdowns, and has a terrible quarterback rating. As the game wears along, attempts 11 through 20, he gets much better. 3 and 3, touchdown and interceptions. After he's thrown his 21st pass, he's a Hall of Famer. 68%, 6 touchdowns, no picks. His quarterback rating is off the chart.
That's after he gets lathered up. You know, there's different theories on this. Chan Gailey, for example, the offensive coordinator, thinks that he gets a chance to see the defenses in the first part of the game, and he's not real sure what he wants to do with the football. After the halftime, he settles down, he knows what people are trying to do to him, and he feels a lot more confident and throws the football that way. Now, I talked to Yancey Thigpen, and he thinks that Kordell comes out so relaxed, and he's such an engaging, relaxed kid.
He is.
And he told me that's the way he likes to play, that he sometimes loses a little focus because he's so relaxed. And as the game goes on, he looks up and he says, oh, geez, we're down by 14 points. I better get going. And he becomes more focused. So you got 2 different schools, but tonight, he's not having a problem at all focusing or reading defenses.
And his club is up 17-0 on the strength of all those turnovers. John Whitman is in as the blocking back for Jerome Bettis. Bettis will get the carry, and Ray Lewis is right there. This is going to be a great linebacking core in a couple of years.
And this is where this defense has got to stand up because if they can stop the Steelers here, they're going to give their offense a little bit of field position. And with over 9 minutes to go, the Ravens only need to try and get something going. Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator of the Ravens, is going to have to put pressure on both Bettis and Stewart with those linebackers.
2nd and 9. Play to Bettis. Room to run, and the bus is in Baltimore territory. Stevan Moore, the strong safety, had to come up to make the tackle.
Mike, that is just a great job of getting a hat on a hat. That's what coaches talk about. Everybody on somebody. Here's John Jackson, okay? He's on Keith Washington. He runs him out. You see, everybody's on a body. You don't see a Steeler standing without somebody near him. There goes Ray Lewis out of the picture. They just keep, everybody gets somebody on somebody, and it gives the bus a chance to run someplace.
Biggest run tonight for the bus, 12 yards. Bettis again. He has the speed to get outside. Cut down by the corner, Antonio Langham, and Lewis was also over there chasing.
Good opportunity here, Mike. Between the 35s is where coaches like to get cute. They like to try certain kind of plays. Maybe a flea flicker, maybe a reverse, something that will throw the defense off and try and get you a big play. Wouldn't be surprised if a little play action here from Chan Gailey might be in order. Give Kordell a chance to throw the ball down the field.
Second and 7. Bettis again. Lewis hangs on as Bettis reaches the Ravens' 41.
Ray Lewis is going to be something special. He is already, really. Reacts, takes on the blocker, gets him out of the way, sheds him, then makes a hit. Talk to him about the best way to tackle Jerome Bettis. He said, you got to hit him high. You got to grab onto something and wait for your friends to come and help. Consensus All-American linebacker at Miami. In his second year, he is the only Ravens linebacker who is not a rookie. 3rd and 2. Stewart, that ball was tipped at the line and then complete. Jamie Sharper, number 55, does a good job of starting to rush, sees Kordell stop, he stops, and then gets his hands up. He's going to be right here, number 55. Starts to rush, pulls back, times his leap perfectly. Would have been a first down. Courtney Hawkins did not have a chance to make a play on the ball. Just enough. Miller has not had great success with pooch punts this year. And that is about as ugly looking a punt as you've ever seen, but it will do the job. Out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Don't get style points, Mike. It's effectiveness, and that one was finally an effective kick for him. He can actually walk to the sidelines now without the fear of the jaw coming after him. Well, Bill Cowher has a way now. He's going to bring place kicker Norm Johnson over to talk to him in case the punter gets off a bad kick. So he has a little layer of insulation between him and the punter. Norm Johnson is Bill Cowher's designated buffer. When Josh Miller does something wrong, he tells Norm to go talk to him first. Only 6:44 to go in the first half. Zaire brings out the offense at the 11. Lloyd from behind, fumble. Pittsburgh football. This is the Greg Lloyd this city is used to seeing and has not seen in the last year and a half since his injury. Had no doubt that they were going to try and go after him. Greg Lloyd is starting to feel his way a little bit more in this defensive scheme. But when you bring two people from the outside, the tackle and the back sometimes can't block both, and quite often gets neither. Oliver Gibson gets credit for the recovery. On this particular play, here's Greg Lloyd, here's Perry. They're both going to come. Bam Morris doesn't know which one to get. Lloyd manages to come inside and make the play. There he is. Morris tries to get one. Perry takes the outside, but the indecision did not allow him to square up on Greg Lloyd. And if Zaire had a chance to let it go when he wanted to, he would have gotten it out.
5 first-half turnovers. Bettis. Ouch. Who else but Ray Lewis? He came into the game with 122 tackles. The next leading tackler is safety Stevan Moore. He has 58. I have never seen a disparity like that.
And the way this defense is set up, the tackles are supposed to keep people off him, and that's exactly what they do. They allow Ray Lewis to run and plug holes. And boy, does he do it well. He works north and south. He does not work east and west.
Now, he's listed at 240. Jerome Bettis at 243. I think Bettis is a little bigger than that. And he stood him straight up. Stewart, little half roll. Tipped incomplete. Bruner got his hands on it, couldn't hold it. It looked like Tyrus McLeod, another one of the rookie linebackers, got a finger on it.
Well, we talked about the fact, Michael, they can all run. Now, Kordell Stewart puts this kind of pressure on a defense down around the goal line. Boulware dropping back. Kordell pumps once, makes the throw, and you can see him on the ground. Oh, what a nice play. Just reaching up to distract the concentration.
3rd and goal. Stewart throws almost intercepted. Very poor decision by Kordell Stewart that time, and Rondell Jones had it right in his lap.
Mike, sometimes it's luck that makes a good quarterback in a game, and sometimes it's good plays. Kordell Stewart right now is getting away with a lot of bad decisions. He should have let this ball go earlier. He tries to get it inside the Lester. He throws it late over the middle, and it should have been picked off. But that's a heck of a job by Baltimore's defense to hold them to just a field goal attempt.
I was just going to say, these guys could really easily mail it in from here on out, but they've done a tremendous job hanging in there. Johnson, the 22-yard is good. And they have extended the lead to 20-0 over the Ravens. Back to Pittsburgh after this.
You know all those stories you hear about how good it was and how much fun we had.
5:41 to go in the half. The Ravens down 20-0. Probably fortunate to be down only 20-0 after turning the ball over 5 times in the first half. A couple of them precariously close to their goal line.
It's hard to really judge how well the Raven defense is playing because they've had their backs against the wall the entire first half.
And they've been on the field the entire first half.
Well, you just cannot be late with a throw down around the goal line. Too many people are too close to the line of scrimmage.
Norm Johnson to kick it off. Graham and Rowe are waiting at their 5. That's Jay Graham, the rookie from Tennessee. Steelers were offsides on the kick. Graham from the 8. J.B. Brown makes the tackle at the 29. The Steelers clearly offside on the kickoff, and Baltimore will have an option of making him kick it again.
I would make him kick it again because you know Norm Johnson doesn't have that strong a leg. So you're going to be able to field it probably 5 yards closer and improve your field position. You know, they ought to just put a half-hour show together. Bill Cowley.
Offside, 27 to the kicking team. 5 yards, re-kick.
I vote for a full hour. Let's check in with Ron Jaworski. Jaws?
Hey, thanks, Mike. The keys to a solid pass protection is staying square to the pass rusher and quickness out of your stance. Our spotlight is on Jonathan Ogden. What he does is really come out of the stance nicely here. You see him on that post leg inside to pick up the stunt. Steed loops to the outside, and look at how square he is to Steed on this play. The legs are perfect. Nice base. Nice sink of the rear end. Oh, man, nice room for Testaverde on that one. Again, the quickness out of the stance on an outside upfield passer. Quick out of the stance, gets his hands on him, and stays square. That's the key on Vrabel, staying square. And here are the numbers on Ogden after almost a half. He's doing an outstanding job. Quarterbacks love that. 0 hits, couple pancakes, not running the ball very well because they're behind in the game. I spoke to Jim Haslett, Mike, who is the defensive coordinator for the Steelers, and he thought that Ogden right now is the best offensive tackle in the game.
Jaws, when you hear people say he's better than Tony Baselli in Jacksonville, that is high praise. Graham back at the 9, fumbles the football, picks it up at the 1-foot line. Down the sideline, Norm Johnson, a fumble. And Baltimore got it back. Do you believe that?
Gee.
Well, we asked what else could happen to them. We almost saw it.
Scott O'Brien is just living a nightmare, as well as Coach Marcia Broda. What else?
Vinny Thompson saved the day with the recovery.
He's got a chance to field it, loses it somehow. It slides through. He's just lucky he didn't step out of bounds there. He is so close, but he does a good job here of staying with the play. Now he accelerates up the field. What a terrific job by Norm. Big hit Johnson.
And Thompson with the recovery.
Oh, no.
It is just a nightmare on the Baltimore sideline. Comes the blitz. Zaire throws complete to Jermaine Lewis, the 2-year man out of Maryland with that great speed. Donnell Wolford right there. And Norm Johnson can't wait until they run the films on Monday.
He's got a new nickname, Big Hit. Norm Big Hit Johnson. What a great tackle. Of course, he's upset that he had to make the play, but still.
It's a gain of 3 on the pass completion. 2nd and 7 for Zaire. If you just joined us, Vinny Testaverde with 3 first-quarter interceptions. He's suffering the effects of the flu. Bam Morris hit by Carnell Lake, got away. And Morris with his best run of the night up to the 46. Levon Kirkland made the tackle, but Carnell Lake had him dead to rights in the backfield.
Michael, when you've got backs as big as Bam Morris and Jerome Bettis, when you hit them, you've got to wrap up. Watch the lower part of your screen, number 37, Carnell Lake. He's in perfect position for a 3-yard loss. But Bam is so strong, he not only breaks the tackle, but almost runs away from Levon Kirkland.
First down, Baltimore. Fumble on the snap. Pittsburgh has it. Holy cow. That's 6 turnovers. We're going for a record.
I mean, if you would tell somebody that the score is just 20-0 with 6 turnovers, they'd say you're crazy. I mean, it's got to be like 40-0. Again, the Raven defense has to go back and try and do something.
But did you see Ted Marchibroda? There was no panic in his eyes. There was no rage. Just, okay, let's go back out and try to do the best job we can. That's what that experience does from a guy like Ted Marchibroda.
And I've always felt that it is the responsibility of the quarterback to get the exchange. The center has too many other things to worry about.
Bettis gets about 4. Oh, we always talk about turnovers and how critical they are. Now, this chart says if you have 3 turnovers, you only win 32% of the time.
Right.
They don't keep if you have 6 turnovers.
6 has got to be somewhere around
0.05%,
I think. I still think it's on the chart, but not much closer. Certainly not making this man very happy.
2nd and 5. Bettis again. And if you're the Baltimore defense, you've got to be worn out already.
And I also tell you what, I think at this juncture also, Mike, with the clock running down to 3 minutes and a half, I still think you pound and pound and pound. Now you want to use up the clock. The clock becomes your ally. If you're going to have to punt, you're going to punt them deep. Not necessarily, no reason to put the ball in the air. Kordell Stewart, 6 for 15.
5 wide receivers.
Boy, if this doesn't have quarterback draw written all over it, I don't know what does.
Stewart throws, knocked away. That could have been intercepted as well, intended for Thigpen.
That's why
Daniel got his hands.
That's why you don't do it. I don't agree with that call at all at this juncture of the half.
And after a really good start, Kordell Stewart is not hitting anyone.
Just here he comes. He breaks on the ball. I mean, if the Ravens could catch the ball, Daniels would have had an interception. They'd had 2 and stopped at least 3 points going up.
Kordell Stewart in this quarter only 1 of 8 for 5 yards, but you wouldn't know it because the Ravens can't hold on to the football. High snap. And I'll tell you what, that is intentional with that low line drive. I was critical of the first punt, but that's what he's trying to do, to kick it to the corner.
That's why I said, Mike, it's not style points.
J.B. Brown was the one who prevented it from going into the end zone. Coming up at halftime, Chris Berman with the fastest 3 minutes in television. We'll run down the story in the AFC East, and we'll also give you a World Cup update. Stay tuned for that. We still have 2:27 to go from Pittsburgh.
I go after them. If I'm Pittsburgh, they're backed up. You got a quarterback that's throwing his first balls of the season tonight. He's missed the exchange the last time, which means that the center is antsy trying to help on protection. I just throw it at him again.
Zaire's last work was in the preseason. He is 1 out of 5, 3 yards and an interception in relief of Testaverde. And a fumble. Morris on the ground. Takes it out near the 9-yard line. Earl Holmes and Levon Kirkland were right there. Well, if you're on the Baltimore offensive unit, the only thing that's got to be in your mind right now is, let's not make another mistake.
Exactly. If I was Eric Zaire, I wouldn't even be worried about listening to what the coach says. Let it run down to 2 minutes, walk over, and take a nice leisurely stroll and find out what Don Strock wants you to do.
We've reached a 2-minute warning. 6 Baltimore turnovers and a 20-0 Steeler lead. Now, Steelers with 2 minutes to go in the first half of play. Baltimore backed up again. They have it at their own 10-yard line. 2nd and 5. The Steelers with 6 takeaways. They've scored all their points off of those takeaways. Morris. Greg Lloyd filled the hole. It's not like Pittsburgh's offense is killing the Ravens. They only have 97 yards in total offense.
I haven't had to go anywhere.
That's right.
You know, they've played at that end of the field. The people at the other end of the stands they're going to ask for their money back. Nobody's down at that end.
Clock running. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. 3rd and 4. Zaire under pressure, sacked at the 5. Nolan Harrison.
That's an excellent job by the defensive secondary of the Steelers. Zaire's back. They give him enough time to be able to throw the football if he gets in rhythm. Carnell Lake on Derek Alexander. Locked up with him in the first yards, has nowhere to go, the first 5. There you see Donnell Wolford. He's hanging tough on Michael Jackson. Now, if he sets and throws, he gets it out in rhythm. But because he has to hold it and bring it down, he winds up with a sack. That ought to be, I think there ought to be another category in sacks. There ought to be a quarterback being charged and not an offensive line. That one has to fall on the shoulders of Eric Zaire.
Steelers used their first timeout to stop the clock with a minute 15 to go. You know, on Jeopardy, you can buy a vowel. If you could buy a first down, the Ravens would have spent everything they had to get one there.
Well, they don't have much in the bank to go after it with, Michael. He's had 7 passes, Eric Zier has. He's had 1 intercepted, and his net yards right now are -5.
Montgomery has to kick out of the end zone. Blackwell waits near midfield. Returnable low line drive kick. Blackwell on the second hop and forced out of bounds in Baltimore territory after a 5-yard return. ABC's Monday Night Football tomorrow night at 9 Eastern from the Vet in Philadelphia. The 8-1 San Francisco 49ers, led by Steve Young, will take on the Philadelphia Eagles. 49ers will be trying to match Denver as the best team in the NFL right now.
Well, weather in Denver, that was great football to watch today. Of course, you're a Carolina Panther fan. It wasn't a lot of fun.
It wasn't too much fun.
And if you're a special teams coach, you're not real thrilled either.
Stewart with the screen. Jones caught in the backfield and dumped.
Great job by
Rob Burnett.
Rob Burnett just read the screen very well and ran on off. Now, 3 of the front 4 of the Ravens really are just starting to play. I mean, Michael McCurry had a knee. Siragusa had an ankle. Burnett had a knee.
Stewart under pressure, and they got him at the 40. He was blasted by Lewis. Well, the defense certainly hasn't given up, have they?
They haven't mailed it in, Mike. Certainly Ray Lewis hasn't.
Clock running, 32 and counting. And they'll whistle the play dead.
False start, 65 offense. By rule, this also includes a 10-second runoff. Please set the clock to 15 seconds and start the clock on the umpire's signal.
Ray Lewis coming after Kordell Stewart. More people than they can block. If he gets it off in rhythm, it's fine. He holds it, has to pull it down, and Lewis is right in his throat.
3rd and 25. Again, a 5-wide receiver set. And Stewart is going to throw deep down the middle, knocked away. At the 27-yard line, Hawkins had a chance to make the play. Double covered. Rondell Jones was the man who knocked it away. That's the end of the first half. The score, Pittsburgh 20, Baltimore nothing. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Acura halftime report.
All right, Michael, well, turnover is certainly the story as the Ravens. Steelers 20, Ravens nothing. Back to Three Rivers with the gang in a moment.
This halftime report is presented by Acura, the true definition of luxury. Yours.
Vinny Testaverde has thrown 3 first-half interceptions, and Pittsburgh has come up with 6 takeaways to give the Steelers a 20-0 halftime lead. Back with a second-half kickoff in 30 seconds.
Most low-price computer ads include legal type, like this, to let you know about all the wonderful things you won't be getting with your computer. Now this system includes everything you need to get started. Printer, monitor, and software. It's only $14.99 plus shipping and tax. And best of all, it's from Gateway. Gateway computers feature Intel Pentium processors. Call us at 1-800-GATEWAY and we'll build one.
The skyline of the rejuvenated city, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And their football team certainly rejuvenated tonight on the strength of 6 first-half turnovers and a 20-0 lead over the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, Mike, their offense just hasn't really come into stride. Their defense has set up a lot of the scoring for them.
Look at the total yardage in the first half. Neither team to 90 yards. The 6 turnovers, all the points have come off of the turnovers. And in the second quarter, Baltimore had 20 yards in offense. Pittsburgh had 18. The starting position is incredible. And the Steelers will get the ball to start the second half. Blackwell from the goal line. A couple of good blocks. and taken out of bounds to 28.
This is an opportunity for Baltimore's defense to try and shut the Steelers down and get some semblance of decent field position to get back into this game. They're down by only 20. I say that with the fact that, Mike, they could be down by 35 real easy.
And the Steelers, remember, in the first game, were down by 21 and came back to win. This Tony Siragusa has done a nice job for them. Especially Ray Lewis says keeping the linemen off of the linebackers so they can make plays. Stewart throws to Hawkins. And the ex-Tampa Bay Buccaneer up to the 37-yard line.
I really like the play selection of Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator of the Steelers. He's really put the hat on Kordell Stewart. He's the one right here. There's Chan. He has said, listen, this guy's going to have to throw for us to be successful, and he's doing it in good situations. 1st and 10, 2nd and short.
2nd and 1 here for the Steelers. Bettis, the deep man in the eye. And Bettis shakes a tackle midfield to the 30. Kim Herring cut him down, but it's a gain of 33.
Marv Lewis all week stressed one point with his defense. You have to tackle. You got to tackle well. And that's the one thing they didn't do on that play. They do not wrap him up. Jerome's comes through. Moore puts a shot on him, but it barely dents the bus. All he did was change lanes.
16 carries, 77 yards for Bettis. He'll try the outside this time, and he's swarmed by the Ravens defense. Jamie Sharper led the way, the rookie out of the University of Virginia, the Cavaliers' all-time leading tackler.
Mike, for this defense to be really, really effective, their two outside linebackers who are both rookies, Boulware and Sharper, have to become more familiar with support angles where people are behind them. And we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg for Marv Lewis in this defense. I think in a couple of years, they're going to be absolutely incredible.
Their front seven is pretty good right now. Draw play Bettis. Ray Lewis again stacks him up as they get inside the 30.
Ah, what a collision. Oh, man, this is face-to-face. 240 against 240. Ray Lewis starts back. Now he fills right away. He recognized, there it is, face-to-face. And just stands up Bettis. There he comes. And there's Ray Lewis. Boy, you better get leverage on him.
3rd and 9. They'll go with 4 wide receivers, and Stewart goes to the shotgun. Blitz. Throws to the sideline. It's complete to Johnson. There are markers down everywhere. And it will go against the Steelers holding.
And Charles Johnson is someone they're glad to have back.
Offense, 10 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Charles Johnson, who's been out for a while, is back playing with a brace on his knee. Said he was just thrilled to be back in the game.
He had missed the last 3 after hyperextending it.
They have been absolutely terrible on 3rd down. Kansas City, they were horrible tonight. Take a look at them. 2 for 10 last week, 1 for 9 so far tonight.
And this is 3rd and 19. Here comes another blitz. Everybody coming. They picked it up. Stewart over the middle and a circus catch by Thigpen at the 21. He'll be a yard and a half shy of a 1st down. Kordell Stewart says, hey, let's go. But Bill Cowher knows a field goal makes it a 23-point lead. It's 4 scores.
It makes it 3 touchdowns. You're absolutely right. And if they go for the 2-point conversions, it even makes it more difficult. So, yes, this is absolutely the right decision. But I like the fact that Kordell hung in the pocket to make that throw.
Johnson's already hit a pair, 22 and 52. This one from 39. Norm Johnson now 11 of 13 on the season, and the lead grows to 23 points. Pittsburgh leading the Baltimore Ravens.
2 tickets, $28. 2 hot dogs, 2 popcorns, and 2 sodas, $18. 1 autographed baseball, $45. Real conversation with 11-year-old son, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted all over, even Major League ballparks.
That NFL is brought to you by MasterCard. MasterCard, the future of money. By Residence Inn by Marriott. Room to relax, room to work, room to breathe. And by Mercedes-Benz M-Class, the first 4x4 that performs like a Mercedes.
It's 23-0 Pittsburgh, and Jermaine Lewis has come in on the kick return team. That might give the Ravens a boost. He's back there with James Rowe with 10:52 to go in the third quarter from Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. There is Lewis. Extremely dangerous kick return man. Runs into traffic across the 30, gets to the 33, and a late flag. Darren Perry on special teams for the Steelers. Boy, the Ravens just haven't been able to do anything right with the football.
Ted Marchibroda. Teddy was my first coach in football.
94 the receiving team, 10 yards, first down.
Had the chance to be initially trained by Ted Marchibroda, and I think all the way back to when he first gave me the opportunity to learn the position of quarterback. He handed me a reel of defenses, and he said, you start here. Don't worry about where the ball is going to be thrown. Learn what it looks like to throw against first.
And until you learned that, he wouldn't give you a playbook, would he?
No. 6 weeks, he wouldn't give me a playbook.
Testaverde has come back in. Vinny, suffering the effects of the flu, came out after going 5 for 12 with 3 picks. Morris. Cut down behind the line of scrimmage. Perry makes the tackle.
Again, Pittsburgh's defense is challenging the Ravens on offense to throw the football. They're getting the safeties up around the line of scrimmage. Darren Perry, number 39. You'll see him go here. He's going to fill right in the hole. He comes right, fills right in. The job of a safety, fill the void and make the play.
2nd and 10. Comes the blitz. Testaverde unloads. Green makes the catch. They'll gain only 2. And Levon Kirkland was right there.
Well, what they're doing is they're giving Vinny, again, continuing to disguise him. They give him a blitz from the strong side. Now, when the blitz comes there, his indicator is a hot to the tight end, and he's got to get it out quick. That ball was thrown down low. They wind up with a 2-yard gain.
This is a wonderful defensive scheme they run here. Very complicated. They hide a lot of things.
And Jim Haslett's done a nice job of putting his personality into it.
Third, call it 7. Biner comes in on 3rd and long. A lot of time for Testaverde. Can't find anybody. Now it's tipped. Jason Gilden, the linebacker, got a hand on it.
But again, Mike, you got to give an awful lot of credit to that secondary. There is absolutely nowhere to go with the football. J.B. Brown, there he is on Derek Alexander, staying real close. Eric Green slides all over. Carnell Lake slides out in front of him.
Montgomery will punt again, and Blackwell backpedals to his own 40. Line drive kick. Blackwell caught in his tracks at the 35. A 43-yard punt and a great play by Donnie Brady. 9:06 to go, third quarter. Still a shutout for the Steelers.
On January 21st, Herkimer Jones invested his entire life savings in sunflower seeds. On January 23rd, sunflower seeds plummeted. Jones might have done better if he majored in financial management at NCTC. You can help yourself do better. Classes begin soon. Don't wait. Call 419-755-4888 for an appointment. Ask about financial aid. NCTC, the job placement leader.
Look to the leader, NCTC.
We're the source to know for all the comforts of your home. DIY Home Warehouse.
Get the natural look and beauty of wood without the cost. Buy an Adams solid core interior door at DIY for as low as $46.99. And SureStick interior wall and trim sealant is paintable in 30 minutes. Buy a tube at DIY for just 99 cents.
DIY Home Warehouse.
With Plymouth, this is what you pay for. And this is what you get. Take, for example, Plymouth Breeze. You get a back seat that folds down and nearly 112 cubic feet of interior and trunk room to accommodate even your most precious cargo. And this is what you pay, including $1,000 cash back. One more time. This is what you pay for, and this is what you get. Now get $1,000 cash back on Plymouth Breeze, only at your Plymouth dealer.
Steelers with a lead here in the third quarter. After the ball club fell to 1-2 after losing at Jacksonville, Bill Cowher issued a challenge to his team. He told them the next 8 games are conference games. 5 of them are at home. I want to make our move right now. And look what they have done since he issued the challenge. They won 5 straight. And when they lost to Kansas City, he said, well, you didn't expect to go 8-0, did you?
No, but I do expect you to go 7-1.
And they've got a leg up on that. Pettis slips a tackle again. Pounds his way to the 46.
Such great feet. See how his feet were going through the hole? You know, he's hard to bring down because he's so big and powerful, but he keeps the feet moving and going forward. The bus, you can't get to the tires on the bus.
And he's got such a great attitude, too. He always has.
Great locker room type of guy, smiling all the time.
1st and 10 at the 46. Well, Tim Lester back with him as a blocking ball. And they'll give it to Hawkins on the reverse. Hawkins dragged down by guess who? Ray Lewis at the 48.
It's a great play by Ray Lewis, and Peter Boulware was just chasing the bus. That's what he was doing. He gets fooled, and Ray Lewis does a terrific job of reading the flow. He sees, he hesitates. Now what he does a wonderful job of avoiding the block and making the play. Terrific vision. First recognizing the play, then knowing where the blocker's going to come from, make him miss, and go make the play.
2nd and 7 for the Steelers. Here comes the blitz. Stewart throws underneath. Hawkins has the first down near the Baltimore 42.
Mike, we talk an awful lot about Jerome Bettis, but Tim Lester, his fullback, is so important, but not only in blocking, but look at him just make the hit, just enough to allow Kordell to get off. Blocking both for the run and the pass. And Bill Cowher says he loves to do that. He loves contact and loves to be the blocker on this team.
Jerome Bettis knows how valuable he is. He paid his way to the Pro Bowl one year. Stewart with a quick release behind Thigpen, who got a hand on it, and that was a dangerous throw.
See that smile? He's got to be careful right now that he doesn't get too comfortable. I think this is the one thing. He has such a laissez-faire type of personality that if he relaxes too much, he can wind up throwing a pick and giving the Ravens a little bit of life. He's got to stay focused.
Yeah, but it's still great to see. He has such an infectious smile anyway.
Does. That's right. When it's over.
Yeah. 2nd and 10. Draw to Bettis. Drag down at the 40. There's a flag down on the play. Lewis and Moore combined on the tackle. Well, when Bill Cowher sets that jaw, you just don't want to be in the vicinity.
Well, you don't. Look at that. It's starting to, and it goes to a frown.
Holding 68 offense, 10 yards, repeat second down.
That's Brendan Stye.
That's the second holding penalty that he has gotten this series, and that is not going over very well with the coach.
Stye starting tonight because Myslinski bothered by an abdominal strain at right guard. Second and 20. Stewart with plenty of time. Receiver wide open. Big Pen touchdown. A 52-yard strike. Kordell Stewart to Yancey Big Pen.
Good job by the offensive line. Kordell Stewart sets, waits to make the throw, leans on into it. Against Eugene McDaniel, Yancey just runs by him. Daniels can't get his feet around. Yancey's in the end zone, and why not give it to Mom?
Norm Johnson for the point after. And the Steelers are cruising. 30-0 over the Ravens. 52-yard touchdown catch, and his mom gets the football as a souvenir.
But she's holding on to that thing as tight as he did, too.
Yancey with 5 catches, 106 yards tonight. Another 100-yard game. He's just having a remarkable season. And the Steelers well on their way to tying Jacksonville for the divisional lead. Lewis at the 4. Tripped up as he crossed the 20. Orpheus Roy, all 290 pounds of it. Timeout, 6:28 to go, third quarter. Join you in Pittsburgh with 6:04 to go, third quarter. The Ravens have run a couple of plays here. An incomplete pass to Eric Green, a completion to Bam Morris, and he took it up to the 32. They're going to measure for the first down. And they'll be short by the length of the football. If you joined us late, the Ravens have thrown 4 interceptions. They fumbled 4 times, lost 2 of those. They muffed a kickoff return, and 1 pass hit the umpire dead solid perfect in the side of the head.
Not been a good night for Ted Marchibroda and his Ravens. Now you got to build towards next week. Now you got to just try and make some kind of plays and get some continuity back in your offense.
Morris, the deep man in the eye. Bam Morris will have the first down. And right now, anything positive for Baltimore has got to be looked at as being very good.
Well, they finally generated a first down. They got a decent pass reception to Bam, put him in a situation where they got to a convertible third down.
Testaverde has only hit 7 out of 16, and that's only their second first down since late in the first quarter. Of course, you can't make first downs if you're turning it over all the time. Steelers show blitz, and they come with it. Pass completed on the slant to Alexander. NFL Countdown every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Join the distinguished faculty of Bristol University for the best pregame show in the NFL. Then at 7 p.m., it's all the highlights on prime time. Then at 8, Jeff George and the Raiders take on the Chargers. Second and short, Testaverde to throw. Steps up in the pocket, airs it out down the middle, knocked away at the last moment. Great play by J.B. Brown.
Oh, but he had another interception, Mike. This is one that JB's going to look at and say, I let one get away. He's running stride for stride with Michael Jackson. He's got a chance at the ball. I mean, it wouldn't have been a tough interception. Had a chance to run right there. There's both hands on it. Lets it get away from him. All the guys who have been picking him off are going to give him a hard time.
J.B. Brown, the veteran from the University of Maryland. Now 3rd and short. Comes another blitz. Great job of picking it up. Testaverde throws right through the hands of Jermaine Lewis. Would have been a first down. There's a flag down in the secondary. And this will give Baltimore the first down.
Could well be against Levon Kirkland locked up on Eric Green. You have two big bodies battling one another.
Holding, 92 defense, 5 yards, first down.
Actually, Jason Gilden, number 92, locked up on Eric Green. Figured it had to be on Eric Green. Somebody trying to hold on to that big body. There he is, number 86 comes off the ball. Gilden's got him, and he's still got him.
Morris trying to get outside. No chance. Gilden makes that play.
Michael, we've talked about the speed of the Ravens linebackers, but when you really talk about the Pittsburgh defense, that's where you see a lot of great athletes. So many of them come in and go out. Earl Holmes now. Jason Gilden playing on the corner. Greg Lloyd, obviously. Another one. Levon Kirkland in the middle.
The Ravens have gone to their no-huddle offense. Testaverde. Lewis had a hand on it. Couldn't hold it. The Ravens wide receivers have not distinguished themselves tonight.
No, they have not made plays. Vinny sets. He's getting a lot of time to throw the ball where he wants to. And you can say that was a little bit too far out, but I don't think so. I think that was a very catchable ball.
3rd and 13. Another blitz. Throws short. Complete to Jackson, and Jackson lowers his head and gets to the Pittsburgh 38-yard line. Oldham made the tackle after a gain of 18.
Now, you can't question Michael Jackson's toughness. He's got a torn bicep and really can't use his arm at all, and he's out there trying to make plays.
Considering surgery, the same kind of injury John Elway had. Testaverde dumps it to Morris, and that one's knocked away by lineman Kevin Henry. You can't say enough about the job the Steelers coaching staff has done. All the people they have lost over the last 2 or 3 years, quality players, Pro Bowl players. Not only the coaching staff, but Tom Donahoe handles all the personnel. They've just done an exceptional job.
And Jim Haslett, you know, you really can't say enough about the job he's done trying to fit his personality into the players that he's inherited.
Testaverde, good protection. Throws short, complete to Jackson. Jackson fumbles the football. The Steelers have it again. Are they going to rule that it was down? Apparently they are. Carnell Lake took it away. And in a closer game, Bill Cowher might be going crazy.
Well, you know, we talked about Michael Jackson and his arm. There he is. He's got...
He never had it.
No, I don't think so. I really do. I think the defender had his arm in between it, and Michael never really had control. And if anything, it was a fumble.
3rd and 8. Vinny throws on the run, drops it to 20. Yarborough got his hands on it, couldn't hold it. Would have been a tough catch.
Ravens have to go for it here on 4th down. They really don't have any other options.
No.
I mean, you're not going to punt it away when you're down by 30.
So they'll face a 4th and 8 from the 35. I'm sure Testaverde got some fluids at halftime to counter the effects of the flu and comes out to start the 3rd quarter. Here comes the blitz. Testaverde with time, incomplete. In between Jackson and Alexander, and they'll turn it over on downs.
That's amazing. You've got 2 Ravens there and 4 Steelers.
Timeout, 2:07 to go, third quarter. A 30-0 Steeler whitewash.
Headlining tonight's really big show.
Ring above a game with its camera focused on an event, you know you're going to get a unique view. Overhead tonight, the Goodyear Blimp Spirit of Akron. Looking down on Three Rivers Stadium with a 30-0 Steeler lead over the Ravens, courtesy of 6 turnovers. Dan Rooney, president of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the longtime family ownership here in Pittsburgh. Kordell Stewart had that one batted down at the line of scrimmage. Last week, this area had a referendum to raise the sales tax a half penny to build a new stadium for the Steelers and a new stadium for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was defeated, and I think it's so ironic that a man like Dan Rooney, who would never threaten the area with taking the team away, never hold anything over the head of the fans of the Pittsburgh Steelers, is one of the few owners in the NFL who is not going to get a new stadium. I think it's very ironic. And it means the Steelers, if they don't get it, are not going to be competitive in the next 20 years. That's for a couple of yards. I think it also means that effective February 1st, unless something dramatic happens, that the Pirates are gone.
And you know, this is a city that should have Major League Baseball and have a Major League facility for their teams to play in.
Of course, the possibility exists they could move to another county and stay in the Pittsburgh area if someone else comes up with funding for a stadium. And it's now going to be up to the local officials. 3rd and 9 for Pittsburgh. Draw play. Jones lost the ball, and they'll say it's down. No fumble. The Ravens thought they finally got a break as Ray Lewis made the tackle.
Well, their defense continues to step up, Mike, and shut down really that Steeler offense. They had the one big play to Yancey Thigpen on the last series, but other than that, they had the shadows of the goalposts on their backs all night. Marv Lewis and guys just don't stop.
Jermaine Lewis waits for Miller's punt. Put the pressure on, didn't get there. Lewis from the 25. Got some room to run and crushed as he got to the 38, a return of 14. Stephen Conley with the big hit. Timeout, 35 seconds to go in the quarter.
Headlining tonight's really big show, here's the Mercedes
Steelers. Let's check in with Ron Jaworski.
Thanks, Mike. To be successful in running the 4-3 defense, your middle linebacker, he's got to have a passion for contact and a nose for the ball. Our spotlight is on Ray Lewis. Here at the goal line, Ray Lewis moves laterally and then attacks the line of scrimmage. Exactly what you have to do to make a play. And he has a nose for getting the sack. As the guard down blocks, he sees the gap, shoots it, and there's the passion for contact. Here he takes on the bob block, back on backer of Tim Lester. But what he has to do is come off this block as Bettis runs by him. Here he's got to free himself up to make a play. And here are the numbers on Ray Lewis.
Ron, he said the biggest improvement from last year to this was his ability to get off blocks. Testaverde chased and sacked by Holmes. Jason Gilden had the first shot at him, and Holmes gets his 3rd sack of the year. It's a loss of 15.
Jim Haslett deciding that he still wants to go after Testaverde. He knows he has to throw. Gilden comes from one side. That's the open side. He doesn't quite make the tackle, and Holmes runs him down. We talked about the ability of these linebackers in this game to run.
2nd and 26. Until that play, the Ravens had their best starting position of the entire game. Vinny to the sideline. Nice grab by Alexander. Kept the toes inbounds. Gain of 20. So they got back the sack and more. It will be 3rd and 6 when we come back. That is the end of the 3rd quarter, and that was the longest play for the Ravens tonight.
Answers.
Here's your scalding hot cup of tea, Grandma.
Thank you, Thomas.
Introducing the M-Class. It performs like a Mercedes, no matter where it goes.
You're all set. Have a pleasant flight. Great.
Here you are, sir. A 2-door spec.
Spec?
Our junior executive suite.
Supersize me.
Sure, what would you like?
I don't care. Just supersize me. Did somebody say McDonald's?
McDonald's presents the breakaway of the day. As Davy Loggins would sing it, please come to Denver when the snow falls. But Darian Gordon was a rambling boy that never settled down. 2 punt returns for the Broncos in the 1st quarter alone against Carolina. 82 and 75 yards for the commissioner. Mike, amazing.
And it's just a remarkable performance to bring back 2 in one game. And he is one of the most dangerous returners that's ever played in the NFL.
Just got to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing for him. If he can stay healthy, he certainly is an unbelievable returner.
3rd and 6 as we start the 4th quarter. Vinny changing the play. Knocked away, nearly intercepted again. J.B. Brown looked like it hit him in the helmet.
Mike, that defense continues to try and disguise what they want to do. They're showing Vinny one look, and then as he goes to check off, they go to something else. He thinks he's got a receiver open, and all of a sudden a defensive back pops up.
Just a remarkably schooled defensive unit. Montgomery will have to punt it away. Blackwell is averaging 6 yards a return this year. Booms this one. Blackwell takes it at the 8. Can't get outside. Forced out of bounds inside the 15 after a 50-yard kick from Greg Montgomery. 30-0. Steelers at home.
This is how some folks eat when the boss is picking up the tab. And here's how they get around. And this is where they stay. Then for you folks who pay your own way, there's Motel 6. We're renovating nationwide and working with AT&T to help you stay in touch with the folks back home. All for what's still the best price of any national chain. Which means you're going to need something to take home all that money you'll be saving. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Maybe a car company should have more engineers and fewer accountants. Maybe the only bad ideas are the ones you don't try. Maybe the best protest against boring cars is not to build one.
We have a deal. Today, the best opportunities are global, and so are we.
We see a huge market together here.
The Equitable, a strong and trusted partner in the U.S.
This combination means new growth for both partners.
AXA, a global powerhouse in 50 countries with more than $500 billion under management.
Here, have a look at the future.
AXA and Equitable. Global reach from a trusted friend. Equitable is a member of the Global AXA Group.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Motel 6. The new Motel 6 is renovating across America. Call 1-800-4-MOTEL-6 for reservations. by Mazda. Come see what happens when a car company has more engineers and fewer accountants. Mazda. And by AXA and Equitable, a global powerhouse, a trusted friend, a formula for success.
We're in Pittsburgh, and for the first time tonight, the Steelers start inside their own 25-yard line. They've had great field position. Bettis, a couple of yards. Stevan Moore comes up and finishes him off after Ray Lewis and Larry Webster hit him. Of course, the Ravens, the former Cleveland Browns, and some Cleveland fans here, and you have to know how they feel if you have ever rooted for a team that departed to another city. And Ozzie Newsome, the longtime Pro Bowler, now the director of player personnel. Bettis, a couple of good blocks in front of the bus. He's twisted down at the 21 by Jamie Sharper.
Now's the time when Jerome can add to his rushing average. This is the type of a situation in a game where you really want to work the running game. We talked about Tim Lester picking up on pass protection, but also blocking for Jerome Bettis. You see him go out of your screen. Now look at him square up on Ray Lewis. It's the same principle as tackling. You want to get your shoulders square to the guy in front of you. It's just exactly what Lester did on that one. Just shielded Lewis from having a shot at Jerome.
Bettis needs only 3 yards for his 7th 100-yard game of the season. Stewart from the shotgun throws to Blackwell. Complete. 40. Moore knocks him out of bounds there along with Deron Jenkins. And Blackwell with hands held high over his head.
Michael, I've looked at Kordell over the last couple games, and I've really focused on his footwork. And the thing he's doing tonight, he's doing a nice job of when he sets to throw. See him playing off the right and then take a little shuffle step, stride, and throw into it. Sometimes he sets that back foot without taking the little shuffle, and the ball doesn't come out as accurately. But he's thrown the ball as well tonight as I've seen him throw it all year.
Stewart has set all kinds of records at Colorado in his first year as the starting quarterback here in Pittsburgh. Bettis hitting the backfield, and he'll lose yardage on that. Joe, a lot of people would say, you're up 30-0. Why do you still have Kordell Stewart on the field?
Well, he's only started 10 football games, and you need to get him as much playing opportunities as you can. You need him out there on the football field, learning how to not just come back from behind in games, but learn how to close them as well. Make good decisions with the football. And I was always objective to being taken out of a game. I always wanted to stay right till the end. I don't care what the score was.
2nd and 13. Stewart guns this one down the middle of the thick pen to the 38-yard line.
But I will tell you this. If this thing gets the 37 zip, I have a feeling that Coach Cowher will feel like it's closed.
Perfect strike to Yancey Thigpen, 24 yards.
Look at the job the offensive line does, creating a little cup for Kordell to throw through. Does a nice job of planning. Yancey comes out of his break, and the ball is right there. Right on the numbers, just the way a receiver would like it.
8 times in his career, Yancey Thigpen has had a 100-yard game. 4 of them have come this year. 6 for 130 tonight. He's putting up some startling numbers. Bettis. There's the 100 and more. Walford threw a great block for him.
Talking to the Ravens, Mike, they said as long as you can keep Jerome running east and west, he's not necessarily that tough to bring down. But when he gets turned upfield, you see the burst of speed that he has to go through the hole. Will Walford, number 77, is out leading the attack as well as Lester. Look at the hole he creates. That was who Bettis cut off of to pick up the yards.
The fans come to their feet, hoping to add to a 30-0 lead.
And the bus is going to the garage for a night.
George Jones is the tailback. He's dragged down by James Jones. Jerome Bettis nearly 5 yards a carry tonight, 24 for 114, and the touchdown. 17 100-yard rushing games in the last 2 years. That's better than anybody. 2 better than Davis and Sanders. Pretty exclusive company. Stewart. And he'll get out of bounds. Jerome Bettis has got to be the trade of the decade in the NFL.
Well, I think next to the Herschel Walker deal that sent all those draft picks and players to the Dallas Cowboys that built the world championship for them, the Jerome Bettis deal from the Rams to come here ranks right up there with one where you'd have to say management didn't make a right decision.
Because he's absolutely perfect for this offense, for what they want to do.
I mean, he's just not only that, he's a big, strong, tough running back who was when he came out of college. It's not like he all of a sudden became this big, quick guy.
3rd and 7. Kordell Stewart wants a timeout. Play clock running down. 9:38 to go in the game. It's been all Pittsburgh here at Three Rivers tonight.
To the ground. Fall to the ground. When people hit the bus, they fall to the ground. All through the town.
Isn't that great?
And it's true, too. There he is.
3rd and 7 for the Steelers. Stewart over the middle with a 2. Hawkins dives to the 1. 3-man rush, and he had all day.
Michael McCrary was brought over from Seattle to give them an outside pass rush, but John Jackson, number 65, just does a terrific job on him all night. You know, even though it's one-on-one, even though they're only rushing 3, and Kordell does a nice job of working the ball in the middle of the football field.
1st and goal. Lester and Jones are the running backs. Jones. Touchdown. Well, the Ravens dug themselves an enormous hole tonight, and they have not been able to crawl back out of it, and the Steelers have just covered it over.
And I'll tell you, Mike, you just talk about blowing people off the ball. Number 87, Mark Bruner. Number 38, John Whitman. They just collapsed down that left side. And Jones just goes cruising on into the end zone, taking Ray Lewis with him.
Johnson for another point after. True again. And the carnage increases to 37-0. Back in a moment. Pittsburgh on a clear, cool winter night, and inside Three Rivers, 37-0. And 37-0 doesn't really tell the whole story. It could be 37-0, and that wouldn't do it.
The Steelers have, you'd say they've dominated, but it's really the Ravens' inability to be able to generate any kind of offensive continuity in the first half that dug the hole for them.
6 turnovers. Norm Johnson kicks it away. Lewis to the 27. NFL Prime Monday tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern as Mark Malone, Joe Theismann, and Sterling Sharp preview the Monday night game between the 49ers and the Eagles. We'll have live reports from Veterans Stadium. Chris Mortensen with the latest NFL news, and Leslie Visser goes backstage with 49er Dana Stubblefield. Tomorrow night, Prime Monday. Jerome Bettis celebrating on the sideline. He got well over 100. It's going to be a long flight back to Baltimore, only about 55 minutes in the air. But when you've been whacked around like this, it's a long trip. Testaverde dumps it under the green out to the 30, had his feet cut out from under him by Myron Bell.
Again, Mike, what you want to do on offense if you're the Ravens, you want to build some kind of a drive so that when you sit down and look at these films, you can see that you're doing something positive. And I tell you, Vinny Testaverde, I know he's not feeling good, but he is not abandoning the ship when all these guys are out here fighting with him.
And Eric Green goes to the sideline. Testaverde under pressure, throws short, complete again to Kinchin, who was the starter a year ago at tight end.
But every throw he makes, Mike, you see that there are at least 2 Steelers close by. It's a terrific job by the defense being able to get people in the area of where he wants to throw.
And is this a come down? 99 as opposed to their 259-yard average leading the NFL. This one's tipped and incomplete. Vrabel got a hand on it. The rookie out of Ohio State, a 3rd-round draft choice this year, as they try to work some of the youngsters in here in the 4th quarter. 11 of 13 series tonight from Baltimore have been 3 plays or less. Bad snap to Montgomery. He's going to run with it. Flag is down. Montgomery has the first down at the 48-yard line, and it looks like they will have ineligible men downfield.
I think it might be holding against Pittsburgh here, Mike.
Yeah, on a running play, they wouldn't have
They wouldn't have downfield, no. Yeah, legal use of the
against the Steelers. Ron Zook wondering what happened on that one.
And we're fixing to find out.
Legal hands to the face, number 40 defense. Penalties enforced from the end of the run. First down, Baltimore.
Penalty called on Myron Bell. So one of the best offensive plays that Baltimore's had all night comes on a low snap to punter Greg Montgomery. They march off the penalty and put the ball in Pittsburgh territory. Vinny short to the sideline, intended for Rowe.
Hey, Michael, you know, we always talk about kickers being just a little bit different. There's Greg Montgomery. Of course, you know, the earrings, that's part of it. That's cool. But when you really go to this extent and you wind up painting your fingernails, now that is Greg Montgomery's hand. Okay? That, I guess it's called vamping. I don't know. But that is going a little bit far.
Well, it's a nice winter shade.
Yeah. The dark color's okay.
You go light for spring. Nearly another interception right in the hands of rookie Chad Scott, and he couldn't hold it.
I wonder what he would wear in the spring.
Nice peach, light pink.
How about Coach Lombardi? How'd you like that? Oh, Ditko. That'd be, oh, yeah. Hey, Mike, check out my fingers. I mean, he's a heck of a kicker.
Yes, he is. But he's always been a little out there.
This is going to be my goal this week. I'm going to find out why. Why he paints his fingernails.
I think the answer will be why not. 3rd and 10 for Baltimore. Testaverde behind his intended receiver. That was Yarborough.
Mike, this offense has looked so out of sync all night. It could be the fact that the receivers have been hurt and haven't been able to practice. It could be the fact that Vinny has not been able to practice because of the flu. But it just looks so out of sync.
Well, for the people that joined us late, Jermaine Lewis was out. Michael Jackson was out. They have both played as the game progressed. They were injured all week. They've been injured for a couple of weeks, and Vinny had the flu, and he hadn't been able to practice. Horton Hawkins will go back for this punt. Montgomery hangs it high. Hawkins will make the fair catch near the 20. A punt of only 28, but no return. 6:58 to go in the game. The Steelers coasting with the big lead.
Why should you buy from Courtesy Auto Mall?
Because they are very concerned about your purchase of an automobile.
Because I just think they were up front.
Of the game, we talked about Kordell Stewart, how he seemed to improve with every 10 attempts in a ball game. Let's take a look at what he did tonight. Really got off to a pretty good start. Had the dip that he normally has at the beginning of the game in the middle, but after he threw his 21st pass, he's hit 5 of his last 7, and now he's on the bench. Overall, pretty good effort.
I think what it is it is an opportunity for him to see the defense and be able to make adjustments accordingly.
Mike Quinn, the rookie, is the new quarterback for the Steelers. And Jones gets the carry. George Jones across the 30 for a first down. Kim Herring, the rookie safety, makes the stop. Jones out of San Diego State, a 5th-round draft choice. Mike Tomczak, normally the backup. You might ask why he's not in there. Well, they know what he can do. He's been in the league for 13 years.
It's just the way Bill Cowher can get his young guys some snaps, get a chance to look at them on film and see how they play in a game situation. Very different than practice or preseason.
Jones hit and dumped in the backfield by Larry Webster.
You know, also, Mike, one of the things that Bill Cowher drives home to his football team is to be an unselfish group of guys. You know, Mike Tomczak could be saying, hey, why not me? But they don't care. As long as a W goes up at the end, that's the only thing that matters to him.
Well, Carnell Lake, I think, is the perfect example of that. He jeopardizes his Pro Bowl status, going from safety to corner to help the team.
He ought to go as both.
Yes, he should. He very well may this year. 2nd and 13, clock running under 6 minutes left. Quinn, draw play to Jones. Dances across the 30 to the 31. Ray Lewis was in on the stop, and Lewis is hurt.
All right, here it is, Mike. 3rd down and 10. Is Mike Quinn going to be given the chance to throw the football?
I don't think so.
He's got a very strong arm. I was standing with Coach Cowher during warm-ups, and we were talking about the way he and Kordell throw the football. He's got a really, really strong arm.
Mike Quinn's quarterback rating in the preseason was 147.3.
See, I let him throw.
.147.3 will put you at the front of the line in the Hall of Fame. 4 wide receivers set. And they'll whistle this play dead as John Jackson moved early.
Invariably, offensive linemen get into a rhythm.
Start 65 offense, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Offensive linemen get into a rhythm and they get used to someone's voice. Obviously, John Jackson is used to Kordell's cadences when he's in the shotgun, so he got out a little bit early because Mike doesn't quite get to it the same way.
So it's 3rd and 15. Jones is back there with Quinn. Baltimore jumps this time, and it's Peter Boulware, the rookie from Florida State.
He learned how close to get and stop now.
Part of the snap, 58 defense, unabated to the quarterback, offside, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Understandable with 4:56 to go and a 37-0 lead. It might get a little sloppy.
Well, you know, you got guys trying to get off the ball a little bit quick. You got a change in the quarterback position. So, yeah, you don't see the continuity that you see through the course of the game.
Quinn, his first pass as a professional, completed to the sideline to the 42. Charles Johnson makes the catch close to the sticks.
Charles Johnson with that brace on his right knee comes out of it. Running real well, goes down for it, makes a nice play, but is it a first down? Bringing the chains out to take a look at. Now, Charles Johnson did everything he could to get back into the lineup. He dressed last week against Kansas City. They said, okay, Charles, you can play, but you got to wear the brace. He said, I'm not complaining. But 2 weeks from now, I'm going to do everything I can to get the brace off my foot or off my leg.
And it is the Steelers' first down with 4:49 to go in the game. Bill Cowher has taken his team to the playoffs every year of his career here, 5 years. And here are the numbers tonight. The Steelers with a huge second half. Only Paul Brown ever took a team to the playoffs the first 6 years in the NFL. He has a chance to tie that record this year. Bill Cowher just has a great attitude about football. Jones picks his way for a couple up to the 44.
I'll tell you what else he has too, Mike, is he has a very, very clear picture of the type of players that he wants on his football team. We talked about the Bam Morris deal when Bam was struggling and having some problems. It's not the message that he wants to send. He wants an unselfish group of guys that can trust one another and that can count on one another. A guy like a Jerome Bettis, for example.
And he gets people with a great work ethic as well. Jones again. Nothing there this time. Gain of maybe a yard. National Hockey Night Tuesday at 7:30 with a battle between the last two Stanley Cup champions. The Colorado Avalanche and the Detroit Red Wings renew their distaste for one another in what has become the National Hockey League's most intense rivalry. Watch two of the league's best square off on National Hockey Night Tuesday at 7:30.
Scotty Bowman and his Red Wings. Big football fan.
Ever play hockey?
Heck no. I could only skate forward. The only way I'd stop, the only way I could stop was if I hit a board. I used to when I was in Canada.
Couldn't be a defenseman.
I beat myself up on the boards. Nobody even had to hit me.
Win on 3rd and 7. Johnson is out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, but what a good pass. What a good pass and a terrific catch. Charles Johnson hangs down the sidelines a little bit. Good-looking ball to catch. He gives you the point. Charles does a nice job and then gets knocked out of bounds.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miller will punt with 3:22 to go in the game. Now Miller will run away from trouble and crush one. There's a flag down. This will be an ineligible man downfield.
Yeah, but a nice play by Josh Miller. First thing he did was he caught the bad snap. Then he got in a position where he could make a kick. That's okay. Take the 5 yards. Just don't let anything really bad happen. Bill says, now don't get sloppy here. He goes down like an outfielder, okay? Doesn't let the ball get behind him. Sees the rush, then has the patience to kick it. I'll tell you, you know, he might consider kicking it on the run more often because he kicked the living daylights out of that one.
They'll back him up after the penalty, and they'll get to do it again. I think it's also great awareness running to his left.
Because?
Because he's going to kick it with his left foot.
Oh, you're just too much.
I've heard that before. Ravens come after him this time. He got it out, and not nearly as good a kick. Let's check in with Ron Jaworski. Jaws, what do you have?
Mike, our first spotlight tonight was on Dermonte Dawson, but he has been so dominant in this game, we want to go back to him. You watch him here blocking on James Jones on the reach block. Does an outstanding job of not allowing penetration so the bus can hit it straight up inside. And the other thing he does, he turns his hips real nice here on Tony Saraguso at 320 pounds, so Saraguso can't get in the play. And on the goal line, the tough play for a center, he allows no penetration so Kordell can go over the top. So we focused on Dermonte, but this O-line has done a real nice job tonight, Mike.
Ron, don't you think this is the best run blocking line in the NFL overall?
No question about it. They have done an outstanding job of getting a body on a body and creating gaps for Jerome to run into.
Baltimore takes over with 3:05 to go, trying to put something on the board. Draw play will go to Tim Lester, or excuse me, Let's go back to Ron Jaworski.
Thanks, Mike. Here are the numbers, and you can see that they have run the ball very effectively, left, middle, and over the right, and particularly over Dermonte Dawson, where they have 57 yards, or excuse me, 68 yards at this point on 17 carries, but the big number there is 3 touchdowns. Dermonte Dawson clearly defines the center position right now in the National Football League, Mike.
All right, Ron. Eric Zier back into quarterback. Jay Graham is his running back. This one's tipped by Carnell Lake. Linebacker in college. And a Pro Bowl strong safety.
Let me tell you one of the reasons why him playing corner is a plus for this defense, because he is able to communicate with Greg Lloyd. When you get a rookie like Chad Scott playing the corner, you're worried about your position, and the ability to communicate with the people underneath is not as easy. You're concentrating on one thing. As Scott plays and develops more the ability to play out there, he'll be better directing traffic underneath, and this defense will continue to get better and better and better.
Prior to the snap, false start. 62 offense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
Leo Goaz, who has shared time at the left guard spot with Ben Cavell. Greg Lloyd had an impact play tonight, and he hasn't had many of them this season. You'd love to be able to think that he would come back to the level that he was before the knee injury. Complete pass to Yarborough. Ball comes loose. Was he down? No signal yet.
No, he's down. They have to call him down. His knees are on. Oh, no. No.
The officials waited for somebody to make a decision, and nobody did.
They waited forever to blow the whistle, too. Well, there you go. You'll see him. He's running, doing a nice job for the extra effort. Now he gets hit. And I think his knees are on the ground before the ball comes out.
Very close.
Yeah. Now you got to really focus on when the knees are on the ground and does he have control of the ball.
Greg Lloyd's still in it, isn't he?
Loves that. Well, you know, Michael, we talked with Ted Marchibroda yesterday. The 2 things that he said they had to do to win this football game is they had to come up with big plays and they had to win the giveaway takeaway ratio. And they have done neither tonight.
7 turnovers.
I know.
Jones. 4 interceptions, 3 fumbles lost. They fumbled 2 other times and got them back. 2-minute warning. It's 37-0 Pittsburgh.
Housekeeping. Excuse me. Checking out?
Uh-huh.
We'll change the room.
Holiday Inn hotels are undergoing a $1 billion renovation to make every Holiday Inn as good as the best Holiday Inn.
Oh, you're back. Your toothbrush.
That means we're changing a lot more than the sheets. Holiday Inn, on the way.
I-24. Oh, 73.
This is it.
I-16.
Bingo! I got bingo!
Get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.
Ready for the next game?
And so, the prince entered the sleeping castle, breaking the spell as
Hansel and Gretel came upon the evil witch's cottage.
Tinkerbell helped rescue the lost boys from the pirates, and they all...
Now you can buy children a lot of happy endings, because every time you use Visa, we'll contribute to Reading is Fundamental, dedicated to helping children learn to read. So please use your Visa card, because every child deserves a good beginning.
Jack climbed down the beanstalk, narrowly
Visa,
escaped.
it's everywhere you want to be.
There's a new leader in property casualty with a new charge to give businesses new standards of safety, security, and service. Travelers Property Casualty. We give you something to hold on to and something to look forward to.
All right, Artie, you going out for this one?
Oh, let's go.
Let's do it. Blue! I'm open!
Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne writing some snappy ad-libs for you. A Sports Center coming up. They'll catch you up on everything in the world of sports. The new #1 in college football after Judgment Day. Our conversation with Chris Carter in a shakeup in the AFC East, followed by NFL Primetime. Now back at midnight Eastern. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Stewart Scott with a complete wrap-up of today's action in the NFL.
I'm convinced Dan Patrick just pulled a blank piece of paper out of there just for effect because he's so good at that.
37-0 Steelers. They have the ball back on another turnover. Jones, markers down everywhere as Jones loses a yard.
Right now, the biggest concern for both coaches is one thing. Don't get anybody hurt.
Offside, 79 defense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Our bronze storyline tonight, 37-0. The Steelers, 76-10 in the last 5 quarters after that big comeback in the first game. Bettis tonight with 114 yards rushing and points off of turnovers. Baltimore with 7 of them, and the Steelers have converted those into 20 points. Jones caught by the jersey and dragged down by Mike Frederick.
The Ravens really felt like they were about to hit their stride, Mike, especially defensively. They really felt like they've got a lot of their people back healthy. Coach Marshall Broda felt that, he said, hey, look, somebody has to be the Jacksonville of Carolina this year in '97. Who's going to come out of the pack? Well, Marvin Lewis's defense certainly did what it could tonight, but not enough help from the offense.
3rd and 4. Jones tries to sweep, stays inbounds. Now he's knocked out. Tyrus McLeod on the tackle, stops the clock with 1:10. Crowd chanting go. It will be 4th and about 3, and why not?
Well, I think the good thing here, Mike, is you get the clock going again. I mean, the points are not significant, and you get the clock rolling again.
Well, you don't want to really line up for a field goal leading 37-0.
No, and it's too close to really punt it. So you're absolutely right. This is the right thing.
Mike Quinn, the rookie out of Stephen F. Austin. Here comes the blitz. Draw play to Jones. He won't get it. Goes down at the 36. Frederick another tackle, and they'll turn it over on downs. Next Sunday, the temperature should improve by about 50 degrees. We'll be in San Diego for the Raiders and the Chargers.
Both of them lost heartbreakers today. I guess you could say the Chargers lose to the Seattle Seahawks, but the magician man, Warren Moon, continues to do his magic with Joey Galloway. And, of course, the Oakland Raiders, still the biggest mystery in football, beaten by the New Orleans Saints today.
That is a mystery. Yeah, keep it on the ground, just run out the clock as Jay Graham, the rookie from Tennessee, gets the carry.
I guess the only thing that I'm waiting to see in New Orleans is, and I hate to look at it this way, but looking at Coach Ditka and how adamant and vehement he gets on the sideline, I'm afraid he's going to blow a gasket.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know when Mike's going to wind up chalking it in here.
If he can win a few more, it'll be all right.
He'll settle down. I doubt it, though. I still think he'll be the same. Now, for Ted Marchibroda, he's got to go back and figure out what to do with this offense. Get some people healthy, get some practice time in where they can look a lot more efficient.
This will be the biggest shutout margin of victory for the Steelers in 21 years since they blanked Kansas City 45-0. Tie for first in the East. Our final score, Pittsburgh 37, Baltimore 0. Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne, the new #1 in college football. Chris Carter is the conversation, and the shakeup in the AFC East. The Steelers force 7 turnovers and get another 100 yards from the bus to stay tied for first in the AFC Central. For Joe Theismann, Ron Jaworski, and our entire crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Pittsburgh. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.